We are trying to be everything to everyone on the Steve Show today. You, the listeners, are very much in charge. We are sickened ourselves by the depravity into which the BBC has sunk. So you can get in touch with us, tell us what you want from this programme. Even if it is something that other people don't want, we have to cater to you, the individuals. So get in touch.
Text us on 64046 or email stephen.6music@bbc.co.uk.
What do you require from this show? It's public service broadcasting. Also, sitting next to Harry, Tiny Dan.
Yeah, I'd like to start with an apology, if I may. I think we're about 25 minutes in now, and I've not said anything as of yet, so obviously I'm being funded by you, the licence fee pays, you're not getting value for money.
Yes.
I do apologise, and I'm also white 30-something male, so I'm not representative of you if you're not a white 30-something male. So
we do not
sorry
even
about
have, we're not even representing a cross-section of Britain in here. This is absolutely disgusting. We've got one northerner, thank heaven.
That's me. I'm also a woman.
Oh, well, you're ticking two giant boxes ticked.
With gypsy blood.
Gypsy blood, good, so
that's another box.
ethnic. You tick our racial box.
I don't think you can say gypsy, actually. I do apologise to anyone.
I own that word, being one of those people, and I can.
Can you not even say gypsy anymore?
No.
You can't even say the word gypsy.
You said it 6 times, sorry about that.
Anyone got any foreign blood in them? We can try and tick that box as well. Any French blood?
Ooh, there's hands going up. I've got a little bit of Welsh.
Yes?
Yeah, is that right?
foreign?
Does that count? That's as good as you're going to get, I'm
Good,
afraid.
thank you. Okay, so
Shall I go and have a blood transfusion this week? I'll get something more exotic as well.
That's good. Harry, what are you, thoroughbred Anglo-Saxon?
I think I'm very, very, very minorly Welsh in a very tiny
Good, a couple of Welsh shows in here. Good couple of Welsh shows. Producer, where are you from? Australia, so as foreign as about as far away as you can blinking well get. Yeah, apologies again for not having more multiracial contributors to the show. My apologies. But you're Tiny Dan, very tiny man, so that's you know.
Is that good? Is that minority?
Yeah, I think you can represent all small people, the dwarf listenership.
Yeah,
you can cater to.
You say that.
And children, of course. You can also represent all children. And Sammy, yes, you're from the north.
Yes, so I've ticked the northern box. I cover everywhere from the Scottish borders to North London.
Yes, you do indeed, absolutely. And I like to think of myself, well, obviously we all know I have no foreign blood, I'm 100% British, but I suppose in a way I cater to the audience listening who's perhaps sophisticated, kind of, you know, well-read, talented, handsome, moneyed, award-laden. That's very much the demographic that I'm appealing to. But yes, as I say, you can get in touch if you'd like to help us put together a show which caters to you, the listeners, and we'll be back shortly after this.
Six Music.
UK/6music.
Musical choice from Sammy, please.
Yeah, this one was delved out by your fair hand from the Pigeonhole, and it's really quite charming. They're called A Band Called Quinn, and there's a wonderful quote here from Madonna. Louise Quinn has a wonderful voice. That's all it says.
That's lovely.
Nicely informed quote there, but they're glad.
What accent were you doing for Madonna there?
I was doing a bit of a northern one.
Okay.
But in my head, that's how Madonna speaks.
Right, sure, of course.
Because otherwise she would be completely dull. So yeah, they're from Glasgow, so they're almost near me, and it's quite a nice little song. See what you think.
Sammy's musical choice on this week's Steve Show. Sammy, what was it again, please?
Already not earning my keep, I didn't tell you the name of that song before it even played. So that was The Glimmer Song. That's The Glimmer Song by A Band Called Quinn.
Thank you very much indeed.
BBC Six Music.
Steve Show, BBC Six Music. Apologies for repeating the fact that this is Six Music when you've just heard a pre-recorded announcer telling you it is Six Music. But for those of you that enjoyed that, God bless you. Steve Show, we are trying to cater to every single member of the listening public. We are furious and embarrassed that the BBC so rarely seems to be able to get it right. Sometimes they're catering to filth monkeys out there who love depravity and sex jokes, but of course there's many more people who do not like such depravity, so my apologies to you, and apologies for even putting it into your mind. We've asked you, the listeners, to contribute to the show. It's all about you. What do you want from us? And Harry, you've been keeping an eye on the texts and the emails.
Yeah, well, previously we were talking about being a very white Anglo-Saxon bunch. Matt's emailed in, could we in the studio affect foreign accents to create a more multicultural feel?
Not a problem. What sort of accent is that? I do not know. I am the worst person for accents in my life. I think this is sort of French, but it could not. It is sort of generic European. Is sort of like Inspector Clouseau, but not. Slightly campered as well. I noticed my hands naturally flounce when I do this accent. Is it sort of French? I do not know. Sacré bleu, je voudrais une Coca-Cola. Tu aimes la musique pop? Oui. Non, je me préfère la musique folk. Ah oui, très bien. Où est le syndicat d'initiative? Allez, tout droit. Tournez à gauche. So that's French. And also this caters, of course, as well to anyone who likes lovable comic characters on the radio. A la Steve Wright. He used to have a bunch of crazy people in the shed, I think. So yeah, if you like that, we'll probably bring back
Pierre?
Well, I was thinking Pierre. I'm thinking Hergé. Hergé, who I believe invented Tintin.
Yes.
But yeah, Hergé. Hello, Hergé. What did you have for tea? Baguette. Un baguette? No, deux baguettes, etc. My French relatively limited. I'll be doing French for much of the show. Sammy, you'll be providing what?
I might go for some Swedish, yeah?
Okay, good. Yeah, quite sexy as well.
Easy. Very hard to keep up, yeah?
Oh, there you are. More blue depravity. Typical Swede. And what about you, Har?
Hoots. I'm a Scotsman.
Oh, okay, well, perfect. Of course, Burns Night. Is it tonight or tomorrow?
It's tonight.
We have not even referred to the Scotch. They are underrepresented here. The Scotch, of course, from Scotland, as I believe it's correctly pronounced. Apologies to you. We will, I'm sure, try and get to you in the last hour and play nothing but Proclaimers. And what about you, Dan?
Well, no. I think I had to be Irish. What do you think about that? No.
Wow.
No. What do you think about that? No.
That's extraordinary. That's absolutely extraordinary. Well, luckily, and people are going to think I've brought this in, but I just found, lying here in the Six Music studio, I actually just found a Swanee whistle. I don't know which of the presenters uses this. I tell you what it's got. It's got Steve Lamacq written all over it, hasn't it? That's some new indie combo. I like the lead singer. She is hot. So again, if you like funny sound effects, then that is catered to. We'll be making use of that throughout the show. But yeah, that was just lying around here in the Six Music studio. Other listeners, Harry, have been asking for what?
Yeah, Stephen in London says he's torn between our show and the Liverpool-Everton game. Could he have the best of both worlds and ask for score updates?
Not a problem. Dan, you probably, well, you're a big sports man.
I love sports, yeah, so who was that? I'm happy to cater to him.
Yeah, Stephen in London.
Just don't bother looking up the score results. We haven't got time for that. Just tell us roughly what you think they are.
Well, it should be 0-0 because we're 6 minutes in at the moment, Stephen, so I'd be surprised if there was a goal.
Capturing all the excitement of a sports ground. I think you'll agree. Go on, Har.
Mark in Walthamstow, can you please stop reading out pointless text messages? However, you can read this one out to make the points.
Thank you very much indeed. What was that gentleman's name?
That was Mark in Walthamstow.
We will stop reading them out. I heard on Radio 1 earlier. This is absolutely genuine. I heard on Radio 1 as well. And I think it's very important because I think what we should try and do is pool a lot of the features and ideas that are used on other stations because, of course, they've all got their audiences. If we can pool them all together, we'll be one big meta show that can appeal to everyone. But there's a guy on Radio 1, I don't know what his name is, he was able to write in, if you could be a dessert, what dessert would you be? So we'll come back to that, I'm sure, after the Doors. The Doors, of course, from 1971, and Love Her Madly, from their album LA Woman, which was the final album on which Jim Morrison featured, and we played that obviously for all Lizard King fans. Although the Doors tend to divide people quite, they run down the middle. A lot of people hate the Doors, apologies to you. We'll be playing something later, which hopefully you'll enjoy. For those of you that like the Doors, congrats. That we played that one for you. Harry, I imagine you dislike the Doors intently.
Yeah, pseudo poetry waffle nonsense, isn't it? With a bunch of horrible hairy musos.
Meanwhile, Sammy.
Offended.
Really?
Offended in studio, Sammy, face.
Fight. Actually, do have a fight. Please now have a fight.
Do you want me to go over there and grapple with that?
Yes.
The worst thing about
this is for webcam users.
The worst thing about not liking the Doors is you can't go and desecrate his grave because all the fans do it.
That's
anyway.
true, absolutely. Yeah. That's typical of Bloomin' Morrison, isn't it? You can't even desecrate his grave because of his fan base.
Tom in Nottingham has said that he would like us to read out more pointless text messages and any other pointless facts we can think of.
Yes, not at all. We need some sort of factoids, a la Steve Wright. So do get in touch with those any factoids that you may have. Let me just see what else we've got here. I want a big shout out to Simon. Big shout out, mate. Big shout out. If you need any big shouts to anyone, then obviously let us know. I'd be very grateful if you would just dedicate the entire show to the Psychedelic Furs. That would cater to everyone in my front room. Well, I'm presuming that room is full of the Psychedelic Furs. I'm presuming they are just sat around they probably listen to all radio stations, dip in and out in the hope that Pretty in Pink is being played, because that means they'll be able to pay for the gas that week. So yes, good luck to the Psychedelic Furs. Thank you very much indeed for listening. We'd be grateful. Big shout out to Simon. That's the same one. Big shout out to you, Simon. Someone was very offended when we play this.
Text us on 64046 or email stephen.6music@bbc.co.uk.
Last time we'll be playing that. Make a note of that information, Dan, if you would, because
that was Tom from Eastbourne, so he's catered for. So
great.
Tick him off the list.
Perfect.
Yep, he's done.
Maybe we should limit this to one request, otherwise we'll get a lot of crazy nuts.
Because then you're discriminating against the multiple requesters.
Yep.
So that's not fair, is it really?
For fans of George Lamb.
Rachel makes a very good point. She says that she loves the all things to all people format, but take care though, because there are thousands of people, maybe hundreds of people, who aren't listening to the show, who may be offended, and you might get suspended because you're not catering to the people who aren't listening to the show, who are still paying your wages.
That's very true, isn't it?
Forget.
We need to start catering to those that aren't listening to the show. What would they want us to talk about? Probably the inauguration of Obama.
I would have thought so.
It's a big hot topic. I know there's a lot of people out there who were sickened by the BBC's coverage of it. We've already read some of those out. For those of you who've not got enough coverage, quickly, what are your thoughts? Dan, where were you on the big occasion?
Unfortunately, it was rather boring. I was just sat in watching it on TV. And
a lot of people in the future are going to be saying, where were you when Obama became president? What your answer is that? You were sat in watching it on the telly?
Poor, sorry. So I'm offended of fans of high-octane adventures, because that was a little bit low-octane.
I was unloading the dishwasher.
Okay.
Really? Not for the whole duration of it. That would be it took a while. Very, very careful. It would work if I had been carefully taking out the plates and then washing them myself.
Oh, so I was assuming, with your fabulous wealth, that you were unloading the dishwasher, who was perhaps an imported woman.
Filipino lady.
Yeah, you were unloading her from a truck.
Sure. Hal, where were you?
I was at work. I usually rush out when the whistle blows to get the 5:20 train. I stuck around and got the 5:50.
Oh, that's a heck of an anecdote, Sammy.
I was somewhere between crying on the banks of the Thames and being taught a magic trick in Covent Garden.
Were you crying because Obama had become president and you're racist?
I'd like to pretend I was, but it was for purely selfish reasons.
I was talking to because it had never occurred to me until this week when I saw it on the cover of one of the papers. Because while a lot of the Obama frenzy was being covered over here during the election, the build-up to the election, I was obviously filming in Canada. So a lot of people didn't make this reference, which was the fact that his catchphrase, "Yes, we can," of course. A lot of people thinking he got that from Bob the Builder. Because Bob the Builder, obviously, that's his catchphrase. Can we fix it? Yes, we can. And I believe there was a lot of discussion about that over here. And I was chatting to someone, and he made the interesting point that it was a good job they weren't watching Bill and Ben. Because if his catchphrase was weed, that would just play into the kind of prejudice people have already got about black people. So thank goodness he wasn't watching B&B.
Lucky.
Wait a minute, Steve, that's too much, Obama, because now Darren has texted in, who's busy making homebrew beer. Why, oh why, does the BBC continue to ignore this hobby by providing no tips or advice?
About what, sorry?
Homebrew.
Right, we'll have a musical choice from Dan. We're going to dig up some important homebrew advice. This is a show for everyone. Are you a person? Are you listening? Do you have anything that you require from the radio? Get in touch. Can't press the thing with the woman, though. Can't have her explain the how to get in touch rules, because we've already upset me with that. So, Dan, you're going to have to give the information.
Text us on 64046. Email, no, Sammy.
Or email at stephen.6music@bbc.co.uk.
You're a woman, your voice annoys me. Stop it. Dan, what musical choice have you got?
I've gone back in time, but also contemporary. Brian Eno and David Byrne. Beatheads will remember they collaborated on several brilliant Talking Heads records and did an album together way back